Hey, 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 welcome to Popular Pixel. Today we're actually going to be taking a look here at some of the updates that have happened on the Polymega. As many of you have probably heard by now, you know what, and I didn't even pull that up. I had a graphic ready for myself. I got to pull that up here. There we go. Of course, you can't see this, but it's on my screen. Mainly just to kind of help me and to guide me through this here today. The main thing is that I don't have any huge updates as far as when you guys will be able to receive your Polymegas, that sort of thing. The kind of update that I'm talking about is a system update. They just recently, within the last few days, released the 1.0.8 for their system update. So what this does is it fixes some glitches that they were having, along with adding some features and that sort of thing. I've had a few people request a couple of things here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the update with all of you so that you can get an idea of what is some of the new stuff that they've kind of added. So I'm going to go through everything here with you. I don't know if no, it won't give me too much control over it, so I won't be able to do that for you. Anyways, I'm just going to start at the top. So the first thing here is there's a fixed issue where a crash would occur when ejecting a disk while install percentage was at 90% or higher. Now, this is not a problem that I ever ran into. I guess some of the other beta testers had run into this problem before. And hey, Kenneth, but it's not something that I've ever had an issue with. I have had issues where my discs would stop reading. I don't know if that's the right word, but the percentage would not go any higher. But I was able to get around that and still install them. Sometimes it just took a couple of tries, or I had to even, in some cases, get a different disk in order for it to install. So it is a disk issue. But as far as when ejected, I'm not sure what kind of problem that would actually cause. Now, the next thing is a fixed issue where loading an installed PC Engine system card from external media wasn't working. Now, again, I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to mean. You know what? I have this one under PC Engine. So here's my Super System card. I actually installed not the Super System card 3.0, but I installed the Pro Arcade card, which is the exact same thing as the 3.0. It's just it has more RAM. So I went ahead and installed it, and I tried it out just to see exactly how I could get this to work. I don't know how to use the system card here rather than using the installed BIOS. I haven't figured that out yet, but honestly, it really doesn't matter to me because the installed BIOS works great on the PC Engine. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and boot up this. It doesn't really do much for you because I don't have a CD-ROM that's actually attached to the CD system at the moment. So I'll press start and it just goes to just a moment. So that doesn't really matter a whole lot to me as far as the system update goes. Super System card, basically with the Turbo Graphics, you had to have these BIOS cards. That's exactly what this is. It's the CD BIOS. You'd have to plug it into your Turbo Graphics and it would obviously it'll allow you to access the CD-ROM. They went ahead and did a few updates over the years, of course, of doing this. The main one being the arcade card. The arcade card allowed you to play some actually very beautiful looking games. Sapphire is one of them. The other ones that are of note, of course, are kind of the Neo Geo games that looked amazing on the PC Engine, the Turbo Graphics, or whatever. But it was just a new updated BIOS is what it was. Some of them came with up the RAM as well. So the original System 3 card, I don't remember exactly how much RAM it had in it. The original one had no RAM, but then the 3.0 it had RAM added to it, and then the Pro card or the arcade card, they also had upped amounts of RAM so that you can play some of these higher end games. So it was a pretty cool idea, I thought, on NEC's part to do some of that. Now, some of the other things. Now, let me go ahead and actually try this because I do have some PAL. Let me see, which one was it? Let's go to Saturn. And you know what? I've got a Super Nintendo controller plugged in, so let's go to Mega Man X3. Now, what this was, it says fixed issue where PAL NES games were not properly updated at 50 megahertz, which is interesting because I thought the console was still running at 60 hertz, even though it was a PAL game. Now, that might be the case for Saturn. I just want to play this real quick to kind of take a look at that. I forgot to test this one before going live, but we're going to go ahead and do it right now. There was another, what game? Oh, you know what? That was a Japanese game. No wonder I was thinking that. I haven't really done a whole lot of Mega Man X3, mainly because on the Saturn it's a bunch of garbage anyways. I much rather play it on the Super Nintendo. I don't own it for the Super Nintendo, so that's kind of a problem. But let's take a look real quick here and just see if we can notice if there is any slowdown from it being a PAL game, which it should. It should. But I didn't notice it when I played them originally, like a year ago. So we'll see. Skip through whatever I can. While that's coming up, there was also an issue that was fixed where the previous or next UI icons were not mapped correctly for the PC Engine 6-button controllers, which, it's not end of the world kind of thing, but it is nice being able to have the proper buttons appear on screen. One of the things that I really hated about this on the Saturn was having to use a Saturn controller. So now that I'm using a Super Nintendo controller, let's see. Oh, yep, I can already feel the 50 megahertz lag there. Oh my gosh, that's awful. Anyone for you who are in the UK, I guess you were used to it, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but I don't know how you dealt with it, to be honest. Oh man, that's rough. Yeah, so if you have a huge collection of PAL games, NES, Super NES, whatever the case is, obviously those games will play like you remember them. But for those of us who aren't used to these PAL games, it is rough. And they are emulating that to a T. It looks like, I'm going to get out of this. I am going to get out of that. I'll probably even delete that game off of that. Proteus, on the other hand, that's a game that I'm not used to playing, Mega Man X3. That's something I was used to playing, so it came up pretty badly. Chip Challenge, Super NES and Genesis. What? Serious? That's awesome. Here's the thing with some of those new releases. They will not usually work right away. Now, what Playmaji is trying to do is when they approach a developer, whether it's a developer who made an old game or whatever the case may be, they're going to approach them and say, hey, would you like to have your game in our store? It's not an officially licensed game, but we would like to support you. We would like to get people who have our consoles to be able to play this game. Would you like to do it? And in those cases that they say yes, they're going to add support for the cartridge. So if you own the cartridge, yes, it'll work fine. But as of right now, until the store gets opened up and until they make deals with these companies, some of those games are not going to work. Now, I'm not saying all of them, because some of them do simulate just fine. The only problem is you won't be able to install them. But in a case like that with Chips Challenge, it will not install. It may play, but it won't install, which is a pain in the butt, until Playmaji comes up with a deal with them. Now, let's see, the next thing here, it says, fixed issues where menu legends would not update correctly after switching region and then switching controllers. Again, it's not a problem that I've run into. I don't go back and forth switching different regions and stuff like that, so I've never run into that. It was a bug that they had, they fixed it. Hey, great. Improved game support for many power element modules. So for EM01, this is the NES module, I believe. They were able to correct some game issues, basically. I can't speak Japanese, so I'm not even about to try to pronounce some of these game names that they were having some trouble with. But one of them that I can say is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Famicom. There was some issues there, but they fixed that along with many other games, of course. Famicom is a new thing for the Polymega. I've not even gotten a chance to try out Famicom. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Strike that. I lied. My brother did end up bringing some of that stuff over, and I was able to get to try it, including some of this next here. Improved game support for several Mega element modules, the EM03, so the Mega Drive, not emulator, the Mega Drive module. One of the big ones, and man, I thank them so much for getting this to work. Phantasy Star 4. For any of you who have watched some of my videos before in the past may have seen me boot Phantasy Star 4 up before. It would come up, the Sega logo would appear, it would just stay on a black screen here. Words might appear, it took a long time for the words to appear, and then it took forever to even get to this title screen here. But now they have it fully working, and I may go in and actually delete my Japanese version since I can't play that one anyways, as I don't speak barely a lick of Japanese whatsoever. I can recognize a couple of characters, but that's about it. So anyways, Phantasy Star 4 now works on the console, and I am super excited. I've been playing a lot of Phantasy Star lately, so I'm about to jump into this game. I even may start doing a playthrough or something. I'm not sure. I haven't decided exactly on that yet, but Phantasy Star is a wonderful game. Wonderful. One of the other games that I'm happy about that they did fix was for the 32X is Knuckles Chaotic. Not a great game at all, but I will be able to install and play it now, so I am happy about that. But moving on, the improved game recognition speed for NES and Famicom games when inserted to the module. Sometimes when you insert the games, it takes it a while to read them. It's kind of a pain in the butt. They've now fixed that so that they actually read the games correctly. They read them a lot faster now. Some games, they appear real quick on other consoles, but the NES ones were kind of slow at times. There was an improved automatic button mapping when using PC Engine controllers to play other systems like the Neo Geo CD, Genesis Mega Drive, that sort of thing. So obviously that's amazing, because now you can use that 6-button pad on these other emulators now. So hey, that's great. Added support for 2 simultaneous GCO1, which is the light guns, the Sinden light guns. In the last version, the 1.0.7, of course, you were only able to use 1 light gun. They now have it set up so you can get 2 light guns working at the same time, which is great because I pre-ordered 2 of the light guns. I would have been upset if I could only use 1, especially when I have a friend come over to play some of those great games. They added an enhanced sound mode. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this is. I guess for the Sega Genesis Mega Drive, there's enhanced sounds that can happen when you're playing games, and they have now emulated that. And it does not actually. Let me see, 32X. It doesn't come natively. Let me just. I don't know what games actually support this, so I'm just gonna pop one on real quick here. But if we go into the menu, we go into settings, go under audio, and down here it says Enhance Genesis Mega Drive 32X Audio. So this improves the quality of these games for some users. Again, I don't know exactly what that is. I'm going to go ahead and turn that check mark box on, and I'm just going to leave it on. I don't know what that'll do. It'll make the audio better, I guess, in some cases. Who knows? I don't know if I'll even notice a difference, but it is cool, their attention to detail and getting that corrected. Hey, Sniper. So as far as the 50 to 60 hertz patch for PAL games, you know what? I have not. I've not even heard about that, to be honest. That is something that I will maybe look into for our next stream, see if I can find some of those patches. I don't have very many PAL games to begin with, so it might even be something that I'm gonna have to search for. So I've got a couple of PlayStation PAL games. Again, I don't notice any problems. Well, on Jammer Lammy, I haven't really played that one much yet. But Viper, I haven't noticed anything because I've never played Viper before I got this. And then, of course, the couple of games that came with the Polymega for the Super Nintendo. There's my Saturn PAL games that I have, and I think that's it. So I don't have very much as far as PAL goes. So yeah, no, I haven't been able to test that. Let's go take a look, though. Oh, wait, no, I have it under PlayStation. No, I went into the wrong one. Japanese PAL is what I... No. Not PAL. Oh, crud. What is it? Tekken. Okay, I'm looking for Tekken here. There it is, Tekken 3. So Tekken 3, I guess, when that game was released, it was able to have an enhanced video back on the original PlayStation that it could output to 480i. And that's something that I, of course, back in the day, I wasn't familiar with. I had a standard TV that wouldn't even be able to output to that. So anyways, I guess that's something that is included now. We're going to go into arcade mode. So what this is, there's an added HD temporal blur video option, which reduces the appearance of interlaced vibration. So there's kind of this juddering that happens. Let me take law. Yes. Yes. Done from Yoshimitsu. Anyways, we'll go ahead and take law. So this blur makes it so it's a little bit easier to see.
Round 1, fight.
Yeah, all 3 Game Boys, that would be something that I would definitely love to see as well. I have not played Tekken in like ages. So anyways, I'm just trying to see what the... I wonder if the, like, especially in the background there, I wonder if that's where we'll notice it most. Let me go ahead and pop over to settings now. Let's go into video. Oh, I already had it enabled because I was playing around with it. So let me turn that off, see if we can notice.
Round.
You see some juddering just slightly around the character models. I'm going to go ahead and go into another round here. We're going to take a look at that. Man, Tekken used to be one of those games that I absolutely loved. I kind of gave up on it by the time the 3rd game came through, but I loved the 1st and 2nd game. But it's not something that I really got hardcore into like Street Fighter. Then again, there's a lot of fast motion going on here, so it's hard to tell, but let me go ahead. We're going to go back into that video. Turn that back on now.
You win. Round 2, fight.
Yeah, so he's moving so quick, I can't even tell the difference. Ha! Yeah, no, I can't tell the difference.
You win.
I mean, obviously, someone with a better eye for those sorts of things probably could.
Round 1.
Yeah, I guess with just to address your question there, Kenneth, was there interlacing vibration before on the games that allowed for a 480i output? Originally, those ones, when upscaled, I guess, yeah, there was an interlacing vibration that was happening, and now so they've added the smoothing. But again, I didn't notice anything there, and I believe Tekken 3 is one of those games that supported the 1080i output, unless I'm mistaken. But it was one of the games that I looked up on the internet to see, and I happen to own that one, so I figured I'll go ahead and give that a shot. So anyways, they added this blur to make gaming a little bit easier. So again, still moving on, added support for PC Engine Mini USB controllers. So for those of you who bought the PC Engine Mini or the TurboGrafx Mini, those controllers, USB of course, now can plug in and can be used. So let's say you have some TurboGrafx games, but you don't actually own the module itself, so you can't use your PC Engine or your TurboGrafx controller. Well, there's no support for TurboGrafx controllers anyways because it's a different kind of plug. But you get what I'm saying here. So they added support for those USB controllers, which is cool. I know it's something that they had been working on for a while, that they were wanting to get put in there. There's an improved games database support for several previously missing titles, including games like Biohazard Director's Cut for the Japanese console. So that game, it was just not in the database, so that game was not working properly in the system. So they've added support for that, which is wonderful. I'm glad they did add that, obviously. Please note that this is an update. This update is only available. Okay. So that's specific information for the beta users anyways, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now, one of the other things that really excited me, so I'm going to go ahead and let me switch the screens around here so I can look at the right stuff. We're going to go over to NES, and as you guys know, you probably watched me play some of that Metroid, but it had the updated graphics, the HD packs. I'm going to go ahead and is it in there? Oh, I don't even have it loaded in there. Anyways, the HD packs to make the games look a lot better. Let's go down to right there's the one, I believe. Let's pop that up so you can see the difference. Okay, so that's the high definition, the NES graphical updates that people can hack and make for this. It's really kind of cool. The only game I was able to get working though was with Super Metroid. I did a playthrough of it. You guys, some of you guys, I believe, were there watching it. Now with this new system update, they've added some more support. So I started downloading basically all of them that I could find. I'm going to go through all of the ones that I did find. Unfortunately, I have the wrong cartridge for the Zelda one. That's one that I'm going to have to buy, I guess, the gold cartridge and try to get that one working. Let me see. We're going to select the patch for Pac-Man, and we're going to load that up. This is nothing to write home about, this one. I mean, Pac-Man is Pac-Man. Oh, man. Well, that's different. Hold on a second, guys. Oh. Keep unplugging this microphone. Hold on, guys. All right, hold on. This is annoying. I'm still here, guys. I just gotta restart that Polymega. Having a bit of a glitch from trying to launch that Pac-Man. Now, I've had that Pac-Man running before, so I'm not sure why that happened. We're gonna give it a shot here. All right, so what's my favorite PS1 game that I'd like to come back to that's not turn-based? All right, you got me there. I was actually about to say a turn-based game. Actually, there's a couple of them. But anyways, hold on. Let's get this D-pad thing. What is going on? Seriously, dude. All right. I'm going to have to probably send Playmaji some information, because this is... So that's me, by the way. That's doing that. I'm trying to get my Super Nintendo controller working. Dang nabbit. I guess I don't really need that right now. I don't know what's going on with that. Ever since the update, I have had some issues with my controller. It seems like I'm the only one that's having this issue. So anyways, I'll switch different controllers. For PlayStation though, some of the games that I guess that I would want to go back to and play, you know, that's hard to say. There's again so many RPGs that I would like to, but the one game that I really kind of want to go back and play through is Wing Commander 3. I haven't played this game in years, and I bought it, and I was waiting to get my Polymega so that I could play through it on here. I haven't even started it yet. I mean, I popped it in, took a look at it. Ooh, excuse me. but I haven't hardly done anything with it yet, so I'm a little bit disappointed in myself on that. But yeah, that's the one that I think I would like to go and try to hit up. Let me go back down to Pac-Man here. I'm gonna remove that patch and then reapply it just in case, see what happens. Pac-Man, start. All right, that worked that time. That was weird, dude. Anyways, so if you look closely, you may not be able to see. I guess it depends on what screen you're kind of looking at here. But looking at this closely, what you're going to notice is they kind of, I guess, redrew the ghosts and Pac-Man and whatever else. I wish they would have just taken the arcade sprites and made it look a little bit better that way rather than trying to redraw it. It looks kind of like a Flash game, or like maybe a smoothing filter has been applied instead. Oh, come back here. No, I don't want you anymore. So, again, is it a game that I'm probably going to play much? Yeah, no, probably not. Come here. I got him. Good. So anyways, that's that. I'm gonna get out of that because Pac-Man on the NES is not great anyways. The next one, this one's kind of neat. Let's see, where are you at? What am I looking for? I forgot. Donkey Kong. Okay, so Donkey Kong. I think that one already has the pet. No, I have to reapply it. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like I got two of them. All right, well, we'll give it a shot here. Let's pop into this one first. Kind of like the kind of Donkey Kong Country throwback background there. Started up, as you can see, it's a Paper Mario. They added a neat little background there. So, again, it still feels like a Flash game to me. I don't like the way it looks. Does it look better than the NES one? I guess that's debatable. I'd probably prefer playing the NES style graphics over this, but you know, hey, that's me. Hey, Brandon. Oops, sorry, I was looking at the screen, Kenneth. So based on the new update from Playmaji, did it sound like... Oh, no, as far as anything, as far as shipping and that sort of thing goes, no, they haven't mentioned anything as far as getting consoles out right now. I know they were supposed to have done an update. I'm kind of upset that they said they were going to have an update in a couple weeks, and then nothing ever came of that. It's just upsetting. I mean, you know, a lot of people, they want them to tell us something, but then when they say they're going to say something, then nothing happens. I don't know. It happens, and it's, you know, whatever. Oh, I don't think I like that. They should update this and put like New Donk City back there or something. Oh, wait a minute. Ha! There's a boo! Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I just noticed that. Alright, let me get out of that game. Yeah, the NES HD packs are really cool. Let me see. I think it was this one. Let me try this one real quick. Was that on there before? Player 1, Game B. I don't know. Okay, I'm curious. Oh, no, let me console restart. What exactly? I don't know. I don't have the right controller to press select. Dang nabbit. Alright, well, let's do this. Excuse me a second, guys. I am going to get out my NES module here so that I can get a proper NES controller. There it is. Alright, NES module is in. I just have to unwind a controller now. And I will be using a proper NES controller rather than the Playmaji branded one. Alright. so let's go back to Donkey Kong Real. Oh, wrong button. I want to see what that game B is. I don't know anything about that. If any of you happen to know, go ahead and give a shout out. See if we notice any differences. Now, one of the games that, I don't know, and I may even try to tackle it. My goodness. Oh. Sorry about that. So one of the games that I would like to see on these HD updates is Punch-Out. Both Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out, since obviously it wouldn't be too hard to do them both, since there's only a difference of one character for each of them. But I would love to be able to see the updated graphics, even some updated sound for Punch-Out. Who knows, maybe I will start tackling that myself. Oh, no way, dude. That seemed to... Is that what the B mode? Maybe the timing is different on certain things? I don't know. Okay, so something like the placement is different. I guess that must be what it is, because if I remember correctly, that's where I'm supposed to stand so I don't get hit. So anyways, that's enough of Donkey Kong, because I obviously want to get into some of the better ones. Oh, crud, where did my paper go that I had? There it is. What was my next one? Oh, of course, Super Mario Brothers. This one is pretty awesome. Let's see. Super Mario. Okay, so I've already got the patch on. Let's just go ahead and start a new game. So this one gives it a Paper Mario look to it. This was probably one of the better Super Mario Brothers patches that I've seen. I saw some videos that people kind of drew their own sprites and stuff for it. I just thought it was ugly. But this one, come on, really? Is really nice. I'm going to actually take a little bit of time for you guys and actually play through this. Did I... Okay, I still have that. I'll have to load that save up for you, because I went ahead and broke into even some of the glitches in the games, just to see what it would look like with the HD patch. Obviously, not a huge update or anything, but still, I love the use of the clouds that they have in the background, and kind of that Super Mario 2D, what is it called? The newer Super Mario World, that kind of thing. Super Mario Land, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the ground, it has that kind of fresh new look to it. Hold on, let me see. I thought the controllers looked cheap from the start. Very hard to get the D-pad and membrane correct. The controllers that they made, honestly, it is kind of hit or miss. I think they are beautiful controllers, wonderfully designed as far as the look goes. But yeah, there are issues with. Oh, did you see that glitch? They hadn't drawn all the sprites. But the way. Just, I don't know, the way the Genesis controller, for instance, unfortunately had some major issues that people were finding. I don't use that controller, although I did use the Playmaji Genesis 6-button pad on my Sega Master System, and I loved it. It worked great. But for playing Genesis games, it doesn't quite work as good on here. I don't know why that is. The Turbo Graphics pad, I mean, it's a pretty good one. The Super Nintendo controller, again, it's pretty good. NES controller, I didn't like the placement of the buttons, and that's usually my main gripe, is they have the start and select towards the top of the controller rather than towards the bottom, and that was mainly because of the extra button that they added. They wanted that to be easily accessible, but again, it didn't work for me, because you got that muscle memory that is wanting to go right for where that button is, just like that. But instead, of course, I have to stretch upwards where I'm not used to pressing. So that's my main gripe with those controllers, and quite often I find myself using the ASCII pad, the Super Nintendo ASCII pad with rapid fire slow motion. Of course, I don't use the slow motion effect in any of the Playmaji games, or I'm sorry, the Polymega games, because it's really impossible. But oh crud, that was awesome. But that Super Nintendo controller specifically is my favorite controller to use on the system. But I'll more than likely, dang it, I'll more than likely, use some of the Playmaji ones from time to time, but not very often. But getting back to that, yes, they're beautiful controllers. They aren't really built cheap. I mean, they are pretty solid. They feel good in the hand. I just have issues with button placement for the most part, and then the D-pad on the Genesis was not the greatest. But other than that, I do like them. Let's see. Sorry, just catching up here. As far as, yes, Naveed, the 1.0.8, they actually added additional support for these games. When I had the 1.07, I was only able to actually get one game to work properly, and now I've gotten more to work. Of course, I'd like to even find more. I wish there was like a database where I could get this sort of stuff. But these are pretty new to begin with, so I guess they're really not around everywhere anyways. But like I was mentioning before, the one I really want to give a shot is Zelda. But, crud, right down the hole. That's what happens when I talk. Oh, dang, dude, seriously? Alright, I'll take it easy this time. I don't want to get myself into a situation like happened last time I was playing some Super Mario Brothers on the stream. Get into 8-3 and keep getting killed by the stupid Hammer Brothers because I don't have Fire Flower. I was able to do the turtle tip in here on what was that, 3-1, and was able to do the glitch where Mario dies because he gets too many lives, and then when he passes away, it basically resets back to 0. That's the first time I got fireworks, though, in here. I don't know if I like quite the way they did that. Regular fireworks would have been nicer than stars. I do like that the castle is... Dang it. Come here. That the castle is right there, rather than being in the background like they did with the Super Mario All-Stars. I thought that was kind of chintzy when they threw those into the background. Alright, cool. No! No! Unbelievable! I'm just gonna suicide myself. I'm gonna start utilizing my state saves here because I don't want to mess. Whoops. Okay, I'm using a different controller. Okay, get up there. Can I outrun it, or is it gonna catch me? Nope, it's gone. No! Well, that's not gonna be good. Oh, really, dude? See, now I'm just rushing to get through it. Ha! Oh. Alright. Seriously this time. Okay, what I mean by that is seriously this time. I'm gonna give him his time, let him do his thing, quit being an idiot. Shocked that the ROM community has not been able to figure out how to make Double Dragon NES co-op. You know, that is kind of interesting. And I'm sure you probably have seen the hack for the Super Nintendo version of Final Fight, where they made that one. Oh, and I like this. Look at that. You can kind of see that the block is there, but yet not. I like the way it blends in, just like the NES one would have, without being completely obvious like in the Super Nintendo ones. But yeah, Final Fight for the Super Nintendo, how they were able to turn that into a two-player game, I thought that was really cool. I actually played that on the Polymega here with my son. He likes being able to play games with me, especially when, in this case, it was no big deal, because if he died, it wouldn't matter, and he would very rarely die anyways, because the enemies were programmed to come after player one. So, you know, it's one of those things. I do like how the lava kind of is reflecting in the background there. They did give some pretty good attention to detail in this hack. I am not a fan of the way Bowser looks in this game, though. We'll see. You guys will see it here in a second, obviously. Sun rays coming through the water there. That's kind of interesting. I think for Bowser's Castle, they should have done something a little bit different. I don't know if they can, since it's an underwater level. It would have been nice to see something different, a little bit not as peaceful. So there's Mr. Bowser. So, as usual, you know, it just goes on and lets you do your next quest or whatever. So, but what I do want to show you is, if your timer runs out, it'll you know, give you a background, says, why am I doing it that way? Let me just do it this way. It'll say, you know, time up, and it'll show Mario, I think, is like laying on his face or something like that with a timer in the background. It's kind of neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the game over screen here. I think it's kind of neat. Yeah, definitely look up the Final Fight patch, though. It was really kind of a cool idea. But I do want to show you this. I went ahead and unlocked this glitch the other day. It's always a fun one to mess with. Is Little Mario with fireballs. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this glitch before. Ah, crap it all. So I'm going to reload that again real quick here and show you. Since right now I am Super Mario, but with Fire Flower, but I'm actually little. So normally what happens when you get hit with anything and you have fireballs, you immediately shrink down to little Mario, right? In this case, it makes me grow up, which is kind of funny. So it is, in essence, it gives you an additional hit, because now I should be able to, I believe, get hit again without having any repercussions. I'm gonna try to get to a spot where, there we go. Oh, it does kill me. Okay, so it does have repercussions. Never mind, scratch that. But it's still cool to see nonetheless. We'll go ahead and get out of there. Alright, the next one, last one that I have until I can get Zelda working. Oh, and there were some Ninja Gaiden patches. Unfortunately, the guy making the Ninja Gaiden patch has not released it yet. I was trying to see if he would maybe let me use it before he releases it, but I was trying to be vague about it without just saying, hey, can I use it? But yeah, so yeah, that's that. No, it wasn't. He was the guy doing the Contra one. That's what it was, the Contra hack, and it looked amazing. But that'll eventually come. But let me go to Castlevania here. We're gonna select patch. I've got 2 different patches. I'm gonna do this one first so that we can kind of take a look at it. So that's kind of a neat idea. It's just the box art that they threw into the title screen here. Very eerie castle, barely seen by the moonlight in the dark. Although Simon is brightly lit, I don't quite understand that. But anyways, as you can see, the backgrounds. This one, it really kind of does remind me of a Flash game. I mean, it looks neat. Those ghouls look pretty sweet. And obviously these backgrounds with the tapestries, it looks really nice as well. Not a whole lot to really talk about here, except for just that it looks pretty cool. But I do want to switch over before I play too much of this one. There you go, doing the Thriller dance. I got someone texting me, hold up. All right, I think I like this one better. Now, in this title screen still has a, I don't want to say obviously not an NES style background, but more of a 16-bit, I guess, Super Nintendo background. So I like the way that looks. And now this still has the NES feel to it. The graphics have been slightly updated with a higher higher color output. But it feels right. You know what I mean? With the jerky animation style, this graphic style still works rather than the other one. Because the other one, it would have just been too, I don't know. When you see more beautiful graphics that are, I don't know, have this lots of lines, lots of beautiful artwork maybe that goes along with it, but when the animation is herky-jerky, it just doesn't feel right. Kind of like what they did with Street Fighter, more recently with the HD remix or whatever that was called. It's just not quite right. So I don't know. I feel this one, it makes more sense. It's not so high that the graphics are super amazing, but it matches the animation is basically what I'm trying to get at here. You, I'm assuming, probably understand what I'm getting at on that too. Kind of like on what was that game? The Castlevania Chronicles. I really liked what they did with that one, where the graphics, they weren't crazy updated. They were updated enough that it felt new. Just like this. This feels new, but it's obvious that it isn't. It still has that old feel to it. Now, what would have been nice if they still would have maybe used some of the 16-bit audio and adding that into the game? That would have been nice. Oh, crap. Oh, I thought he was totally going to get me. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Different enough, but familiar. Exactly. Oh, crap. That's what I was looking for. Forgot it was in this area. Ah, come on. Yeah, so that's that. See, and I think the NES games they could use something more like this rather than trying to go too crazy. Although, again, on that Super Mario game, I felt that one, it really worked well. Mainly because, Paper Mario was kind of meant for that kind of style. Oh, that's another one of those. I don't want that. Ah! He takes 2 hits. So that one, was another one that felt appropriate. The Zelda one, from what I have seen of it, again, looks and feels appropriate. So I'm, again, very excited to try that one out, but I'm going to have to buy myself another copy of Zelda unless I can find somebody who owns the gold cartridge Zelda here in town that I can just borrow from them so I can install it. I don't have too many friends in this town that actually play video games, so we'll see how that goes. I did not want to pick that up. But why did I sing about it? I have no idea. Maybe I should have done it along with the music. I did not want to pick it up. I died falling down a hole. Always hated these stupid Medusa heads. Don't! And again, I don't know anyone who enjoyed them. Ah, crap. Wow. Well, it's been a while since I have played Castlevania. Again, talking about emulation just a little bit ago, and the wonders of being able to do emulation is being able to do those state saves. All those people that are basically being self-righteous about, oh, that's emulation, it's so bad. You can't do state saves if you're going to be emulating the hardware, like with the NTs. You know, those people are crazy about that, thinking that that's the best thing since sliced bread. But of course, I'd much rather be able to emulate the software and being able to do state saves for games like this, especially now that I'm up in my years. I mean, I'm not super old, but you know, hey, what am I, 43 now? I really don't have as much time to sit around and play video games as much as I used to. As a matter of fact, I'm getting rid of a lot of my video games at the current moment because I just bought a motorcycle. I'd much rather go out and do that, to be honest. But the Polymega, I'm still very much interested in these games that allow me to play stuff like this. Speaking of this HD pack, I saw on the internet just the other day, it was pretty sweet. I guess there's an emulator now that allows you to do this with Sega Master System games. So if Playmaji does get around, hint hint, at getting the Master System emulation going for this, being able to do these HD hacks would be awesome. I only saw one game so far. It was Alex Kidd, but Alex Kidd is one of my favorite games, as well as the Wonder Boy games. But it just breathes new life into games that you are able to kind of remember from your childhood, and I love that. I love that about this. I kill you! Oh, wait a minute, is that? No, it's not. Ah! Ha! I didn't know she was gonna be right on top of me there. Jerk. Come this way. No! No! I lied. Don't come this way. No! Dude, that sucked. Cheat code database. Now, they were supposed to be doing that. Of course, it's one of the things they mentioned a long time ago. Yes, I would love to see that as well. Obviously, I mean, I just sold my Neo Geo AES, and it makes me want to cry. But I haven't played that thing for I don't know how many years. So I just sold that, and I had the Unibios in it, which allowed you to do cheats, and that was so awesome. Just pull up cheats on the fly. Same thing with this. One of the things, you know, I'm not too sad about selling my Neo Geo anymore is because I have the Polymega. I've been actually loading my Polymega up with Neo Geo games more than what I had originally anyways. Plus, there's so much more appealing to sit here and play on the Polymega because they look so crisp, so beautiful. I have the Neo Geo X controllers. I still need to buy some weights for it to give it that right feel. But I did that with one of my other Neo Geo X controllers that was modded so that it would work on the AES, and it's wonderful. So I'll still be able to get that same arcade feeling, but through the Polymega. So I'm very excited about that. The Killer Instinct patch. Oh my gosh, I need to try that again. Now, last I tried it, I don't know if maybe you were familiar with it, but last I tried it, no, it got in, it let me do the video and that sort of thing, but it wasn't right. It was not the right one. So what I'm gonna have to try to do is I'm gonna have to hunt that patch down because I think I deleted it. I'll get that patch again and I'll reinstall it because yeah, that would be an amazing patch to be able to play on the Polymega, the arcade Killer Instinct patch. Oh my gosh, not only the arcade sound, yeah, the intros. I believe the endings even had like when you kill Idol, how he falls down into the lava and you know, that sort of stuff. Man, it was beautiful. I did play it on the PC. I thought it was really cool. Obviously on the PC, if I really wanted to do that, I could just play the actual arcade ROM, or I could even go over to my Xbox One and I've got the what do they call it, the Killer Collection or something like that, which has the arcade games on it. So I could have done that. Let me switch this back. I'm gonna try to put my Super Nintendo module back in here. Where's the right controller? A buddy of mine gave me another ASCII pad for the Super Nintendo, so I thought that was really awesome. All right, so yeah, there we go. Now I've got the proper control set up here. Let's see, cheat code database. Okay, so that's where I was at. The system has so much potential through Wi-Fi updates. It really does. You know, and to be honest, I would love, I don't know if they would ever be able to do this or even would do it, but it would be so awesome to have like online play against people. It might be something they could work towards, or maybe their infrastructure isn't set up for it. I don't know. But it would be awesome to be able to link up to other users and play games with them. I know this other Kickstarter that came out, what was it, 2 months ago or so now? It was kind of like a Polymega kind of system, where that's really what it was about. It was about community, being able to link up. But at the same time, I don't really play a lot of games online, so it wouldn't be a make or break it thing for me, mainly because I enjoy just playing games by myself and with my son. My daughter, whenever she wants to play games, of course, she doesn't really play a lot of this older stuff. She might play some Animal Crossing or some Mario Kart 8 with me, that sort of thing. Thoughts on Skyward Sword for the Switch? All right, well, let me start off with thoughts on let me start playing a game just because. Skyward Sword in general. Oh, dang it. Hold on a second. Let me get that BIOS unplugged so that doesn't kick in. I don't like using the original BIOS. I'd much rather use the Polymega or the Playmaji BIOS. Who was it that I liked? Tokyo Ninjas. All right, so Skyward Sword. I'm not a fan of Skyward Sword. Man, I was so excited. I was living in Atlanta at the time when Skyward Sword originally came out. I purchased that game, and I sold it within a week. I did not like it. The game did not feel right. I hated it. I have not gone back to it since it came out on the Switch. I do want to give it a shot, but I don't know when or if that's actually ever going to happen. A lot of my friends have... Dang, I'm batting 1,000 here. There we go. That's caught anyways. Oh, dropped in the gap. Interesting. Now that they have made some of those changes to the game, it may not be as bad. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But by changing... Oh, crap. Some of the things that are kind of those quality of life... Oh, you jerk. Quality of life things that they had fixed, but then locking it behind an amiibo is crap. That makes me so mad. But at the same time, my cell phone can write, I don't even know what those NFC, that's what it's called, those NFC chips, I can write those, so I can buy a bunch of those. I can even make my own cards if I really wanted to. I stopped even really caring about amiibo. I still pick up some of them from time to time. The last one that I picked up was Richter Belmont. Mainly because I'm such a Castlevania fan, and also a TurboGrafx fan. So I needed to get that. I was actually thinking of, I should have bought 2 of them now that I think about it. Redo the packaging on it. I love making packaging, for those of you who don't know, like retail packaging. It's just kind of a nerd thing that I like doing. Oh, too much. But Skyward Sword, yeah, I'm not too into that. If they end up doing an Ocarina of Time HD, basically, you know, maybe fixing up the 3DS ones to make them look a little bit nicer for the resolution, I am so gonna buy that. I still have, you know, my Ocarina of Time for the N64. I have it for the GameCube. I have it for the 3DS. Ocarina of Time, that's a game that I enjoy playing. But there's just so many Zelda games that came out later in life. What's that train one? What Spirit Tracks? I hated that game. I actually didn't even like Minish Cap. But I know a lot of people loved that one. Dang, dude.
There's the pitch.
All right, so let's see what was up next here. Let me take a peek. Yeah, made some of those quality of life improvements. They did, and it's what's kind of making me want to go back and give it a shot anyways. It probably won't happen anytime soon. I may even just wait to hear what some of my friends have to say concerning Skyward Sword. But I'm not too hyped about it because I got burnt on that once before when they re-released it. What was that, on the Wii U, or was it the Wii? I don't remember. For what is that one? The cartoony Link one from the GameCube. I can't even think of its name right now. But I bought that, the HD version of that, and I played it for a couple minutes and never went back to it. I mean, yeah, it looked a little bit better, but it was still the same game. That was another one of those Zelda games that I just got burnt out on. I did not like the Triforce quest of trying to find all those pieces at the bottom of the sea. I mean, the idea, the story, I thought it was pretty cool, but it wasn't enough for me, you know what I mean? But going back to you, Eggman, real quick here, as far as favorite Neo Geo game, dude, me too. This is actually the very first AES game that I purchased. I remember playing this game back in the arcades, and I just fell in love with it. The first game for the Neo Geo really wasn't great. I did not like it. But when I played this game at the arcades, I remember I was at my grandma's house. We went to the mall, and you got this ball flying at your face when you hit a foul, back behind you, or maybe you get hit by the ball. You run out there and you punch that pitcher right in the face, of course, injuring him so that he's unable to. Let me just pelt this guy. Oh, he didn't want to do it. See, sometimes they won't even come after you. Come on, hit me. I dare you. Come on, you guys. Do it. Punch me in the face. Man. They don't... Oh, yeah. See, and this is the other thing, the power-ups. I love this. Being able to smack that. So, yeah, that was fun. So he's going to power up again. He's going to try to hit a home run here. Let's see if I can get him to strike out, though.
There's the pitch.
So, yeah, 0. That was fun. Thank you for mentioning that. This was, like I said, this was the first Neo Geo game that I had purchased when I bought my AES. I actually got it, I believe it was for $80, somewhere right around there. Someone, in their wise ideas, I don't know exactly what it was. I wish I could show it to you. I didn't have my tripod here today, so I didn't set my camera up. But they took it and they painted the cartridge blue. I don't know why anyone would do that with a Neo Geo game. Now, it was probably a kid, back in the 90s at some point. Parents had lots of money and bought him these Neo Geo games and painted his cartridges blue. I know that he painted more than one because I have seen 3 cartridges on the internet painted this same blue color. This guy was crazy. One of them was, I believe, one of the quiz games. I can't remember which one, and I can't remember what the third game was that I saw that was painted blue. For a while there, I was actually wanting to buy those games up, just because it was a weird thing and it didn't make any sense to me. And of course, I should have been able to get the games pretty cheap. So anyways, as far as Neo Geo games go, Baseball Stars 2, that's one of my favorites. I don't know if I can say it's my top favorite. It's one of my favorites. The other one I don't have on here because it never came out on the Neo Geo CD is King of Fighters 2000. I absolutely love that game. A guy that I met back where I used to live, met him on the Neo Geo forums, found out that he only lived a few blocks away from me. We used to do Neo Geo nights. After we found out that we lived so close together, he came over, he played my Neo Geo, and then he bought a Neo Geo shortly thereafter. And his first game that he bought was King of Fighters 2000. And he would come over, we'd play that game, and oh my gosh, I just love it. The other one, which I just sold on the AES. I mean, I got a good chunk of change for it. It was $600, but I won't, I won't have to worry too much because I've got it right here. But Double Dragon, such a beautiful game. I love what they did with it. Billy. Based loosely off of the movie. But man, this arcade game was awesome. I never actually played this game in the arcade. I didn't play it until emulation came around and I was able to check it out, of course. I love this game. I love Neo Geo games. I am kind of sad to see, my Neo Geo collection being sold off now. Of course, I am keeping my Neo CD stuff. I just sold my MVS cabinet today, just before I went live. Actually, the dude came by, took a look at it, and sold it. But in the end, I still feel it's going to be worth it, mainly because, I got the motorcycle that I'd been wanting. And, well, I get my license on that tomorrow. Don't even have a license for it yet, but that'll be coming tomorrow. I'm going to go finish up my road test for that. Let me see where we're at. Let me back up here.
Round 3, fight!
Kenneth, let me go back to you real quick here. So you have to unplug your memory device just to keep it from... Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to, no. Let me explain that to you real quick here. Let me pop it back in there for you. All right. So right now I've got a BIOS built in. I have it in my BIOS settings. So you know what? I was wrong. Actually, yes, I do have to take it out. I'm actually going to delete it. But right now, I have it on the memory device. You can put it on the hard drive. You can put it on the flash cards, the little thumb drives. You can put it on your SD card. It doesn't matter where you have it. But if you have it plugged in, that's the BIOS that you are going to use. So if you decide you want to switch BIOS, to say the Playmaji one, all you have to do is pop that memory card out. Otherwise, it's going to go ahead and it's going to boot that game using whatever BIOS you have currently set up for it. So in this case, I actually have a modified. It's basically the Uni BIOS for the Neo Geo CD. So it boots up, through the regular Neo Geo CD process. You can skip over that if you want to, but it'll, go through and still do this loading stuff that we don't like to see. And that's part of the reason why. Oh, and it looks like that BIOS. This is a modified BIOS, so it doesn't like all the games. Let me get out of this one because it obviously is not working with that one well. Let's go to Fatal Fury. All right, so it boots up into the BIOS here. If I hit start, it'll, do this thing. I can hit start again and go into the game. It'll load it just as if it's a Neo Geo CD, except it takes much less time. But now, since it is a UniBIOS style thing, I can go in here. I can select if I want to play it as the MVS or if I want to play as the Neo Geo CD. I can pick my region. I can even go into developer mode if I want to, save setting, load settings, blah, blah, blah. So let me go into MVS. And sometimes MVS will crash certain games. Again, this is not the most up-to-date version of this BIOS either. It's just the one that I was able to find. So it boots it up at 99 credits per player. So it goes through, it shows you everything like it normally would. And this is good, especially for shooters, because sometimes they will limit you on the amount of credits. Maybe they'll give you 3 credits to get through the entire stupid game, which doesn't work so well when you're playing those shooters, right? Let's see, what is my control? Oh, that's it. I really need the Neo Geo joystick for this game. It makes it so much easier. Oh, come on. So anyways, that's what that is. Yeah, so if you want to use a special BIOS, you do have to load it up in your system files. Bring your memory card over to your computer, plug it in, put it in a folder. I believe it's just called BIOS, and then you put the different BIOS in there that you're wanting to use for the specific system. Most of the time, the ones that were developed by Playmaji work just fine. There are a few games that don't, and that's why I have that available if I want to do it. Excuse me, if I want to do it that way. So are there more Neo Geo MVS AES games than CD releases? Yes, there are. If you include the more newer games, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe there's around 179 AES/MVS games than CD. Now, CD had just under 100 official games, but then, of course, there were people who were making new games for that as well, but it didn't get up to the 170 range like that did. As you probably know, there were some exclusives on the CDs. Here's one of them, Cross Swords 2. Cross Swords is a pseudo RPG kind of game, but it's kind of like Punch-Out, where it's a first-person, or actually third-person point of view, but your character is a wireframe. I think it actually doesn't start out wireframe, but then it switches to wireframe when the action starts beginning. Yeah, there it is. And to be honest, I really love the way the second game looks. It's beautiful. I've never fully played through the second game, though. I'm going to have to do that one of these days. I just installed this one just recently. There's some other CD exclusives. Do I have it on here yet? The Samurai... No, I don't. Oh, wait. It would be over here. Okay, no, I don't have it in there. Like, Samurai Showdown RPG is one of those games that was an exclusive to the CD system. Yeah, and then for you, Eggman, going back to the AES cards, yes, it's AES cards. Somebody had the gall to take it, to paint it. They didn't paint over the label. They kept the label there, but they painted absolutely everything else. A horrible paint job, too. I mean, the paint, you can see where it was dripping down and stuff. It looked really ugly. I tried removing the paint, and I was afraid I was going to damage the cart more than it would be worthwhile, so I decided not to do it. But it's really weird. I bet... I'm going to try something here real quick. Oh wait, I know exactly where I can get it. Here, let me pop into my Dropbox. I can show you guys a picture of it here. There it is. This will take me 1 second. I got to save this image. Throw it on my desktop, and I will add image, delete, go to desktop again. There it is. I'm going to pop this up on the screen so you can see it. Look at that. Oh, it looks so bad. Oh my gosh, dude, seriously. So yeah, this dude, he did this, and he did it to several cartridges. I don't know how many cartridges he actually did this to, but I do know of at least 3 games, and I seriously doubt it was somebody else or a copycat. But I mean, if you're gonna do it, I guess SNK Blue, maybe that's what he was thinking. I would have probably thought red, just because of the big red cabinets. Maybe he wasn't in the US. As a matter of fact, I think there were blue cabinets in other countries, unless that was a fake thing too. I don't really know, but dude, that was awful. It was so dumb. But anyways, that's that. Let me see here. Okay, so yeah, you're not totally familiar with TurboGrafx Neo. TurboGrafx, again, that's another one that I'm just absolutely in love with. I've got almost a full US collection. I am missing, I want to say, what was it? I don't even remember. It's been so long since I've collected on TurboGrafx. But I'm missing around 20, 30 games, something like that, including the CD-ROMs and the different BIOSes that are available on the console. But that's not a huge thing. I mean, because the TurboGrafx, they did not have a huge collection of games anyways. I'm really upset that the system didn't do better than it did. There are several games that I also haven't been able to get working on my Polymega. I don't know if it's a variant or just because my cartridges can't be read by the system, because they might have, I don't know, some kind of error either on the chips or whatever, and it doesn't see it as being the proper game. I don't know. But yeah, TurboGrafx and Neo Geo, those are a couple of my favorite consoles. Let me see. Eggman, Neo Geo's fun, obviously. Lots of fighting games, but still options if you don't like fighting games. King of Monsters, Baseball Stars, Windjammers, Puzzle Bobble. Right, exactly. Puzzle Bobble is actually one of my wife's favorite games. I think the first time she got to play that game was on the PlayStation 2, and she fell in love with it. But I have that one obviously on here. King of Monsters was not released for the Neo Geo CD, but King of Monsters 2 was released. Again, that was a cool game. Neo Turf Master is one of my favorite Neo Geo games, but it's also one of my favorite golf games of all time as well. So you know, that's a thing. Let me see. So if you have the BIOS on the internal SSD drive, will it go to that one? Yes, it would. But honestly, I don't know how you would install it unless you had taken your SSD drive and hooked it up to a computer, transferred the files onto it before installing it into your Polymega. So the chances of that happening are pretty slim. You are better off just keeping your BIOS files either on a thumb drive or on the SD card itself. So that way it will be easy and quick to change if need be. I started using thumb drives on my Polymega for my hacks rather than keeping those on my SD card. Just because of the ease. So I don't even have to use any kind of converter or anything when plugging it into my computer. I just plug the thumb drive in, throw the files on there that I need, throw it back on my Polymega, I'm ready to go. So that I definitely strongly suggest you guys probably even do the same. Let's see. I love the OG PS1 BIOS, and that's coming from someone that never had. Really? Wow. Okay, you never had a PS1? During the PS1, PS3 era. Wow. Had friends that swore by PS1. Okay. See, yeah, and I mean, my brother, he had the Saturn. So of course I bought the PlayStation 1, and then of course N64 came out. I bought that as well. I loved the N64. I really do hope that this console gets N64 support, because I've got a ton of those games as well. PS1 was good, but I probably am still more of an N64 player, to be honest. Let's see that blue card. Eggman. Okay, so yeah, talking about that blue card. Had an AS grown because my old man was huge into games, and he wouldn't let us even look at the Neo Geo without him in the room. Yeah, dude, I can understand that. Back when I was young, when the Neo Geo had come out, I wanted to buy one. I had a paper route. I was making some good money, and I was going to buy a Neo Geo. I ended up never doing it. I ended up getting a Super Nintendo instead, which was probably a better idea because obviously I was able to get a lot more games for the same price. We had a local EB Games that sold Neo Geos. Each game was right around $200, $250 a pop. Although it would have been so awesome, man. I would have been like the king of the school. King of the nerds, I guess you would have to say, or king of the dorks. I don't know. If I owned Fatal Fury, we would even skip school at times. During lunch, we'd go over to the Pizza Hut to play some Street Fighter. Man, to be able to play some of that stuff in home back in the day would have been just super amazing. On to green, exactly, Eggman. Neo Turf Master is by far one of my favorite. Actually, I was playing this one just yesterday on this state save. Where am I even right now? A little bit of wind there. Oh, wrong button. Let me switch that back. It is a simulator game, but yet it has a good arcade feel to it. So it's not like some of those arcade, more simulator style games. I can't even remember what that game was called, to be honest. I almost said Top Golf. I can't remember. But I never really got into it. I thought it was pretty cool that they networked up so you could do tournaments and that sort of thing at the arcade. And then, of course, Arcade 1-Up, they ended up doing one of the cabinets as well, which it was kind of a cool idea. But I'm not into the whole arcade cabinet 1-Up things. 15 months later, still waiting for my system. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I can't say how upsetting that is. Golden Tee, that's the one. But yeah, having to wait so long for this console, it's one of those things that's going to be talked about forever. Even after the console is released and they start getting them out. Now, I know they did release some into the wild. I talked to a guy the other day who got his back in February, who's not a YouTuber, who's not a beta tester, any of that kind of stuff. But he was one of the lucky people that got his console when they got that first shipment of systems. But it's one of those things. It's gonna happen when it happens, unfortunately. And I hope that they get some good news sometime soon. But I am next week, guys. I am thinking about maybe doing a Neo Geo CD afternoon. I'll probably even have more CD games at that point. I've got a bunch that I'm still having to rip on here. I've been slowly doing it over the last couple of days when I've had time. But I think I want to do some Neo Geo stuff. So next week, when you guys, if you tune in, I think I'll have you guys kind of selecting and kind of be my backseat driver, telling me what you would like to see. But I am going to stick to the Neo Geo CD next week. But what did you think about some of these updates that came through with the new 1.0.8 system update for the Polymega? Yes, it would be nice to actually have these things in your hands so you guys can see them firsthand and to be able to do some of this stuff. But seeing some of the stuff that has come out, what excites you? For me, I'll go ahead and let you know, because of course it's something that I don't have in my hands right now, again, is those Sinden light guns. Being able to do 2-player support on games like Virtua Cop. Come on, son. Oh man, I can't wait for that. But anyways, again, that's all the time that I have for today. I need to get out and go ride some motorcycle. But I wanted to thank you all for coming by and checking it out. And I hope you guys had a good time. And until next week, of course, I will catch you next time. And keep on gaming, you guys. Tell me about those games that you're playing right now, maybe even. But next week we come in here and be prepared to talk about some Neo Geo. You guys have a good rest of your day as well, and take care. Bye-bye.